Miss USA 2009, Kristen Dalton, and someone in just a moment who wants to speak with her. It happens to be the guy who actually owns the whole Miss USA Universe organization, Donald Trump. Donald, are you there?
I can hear you barely. They have a lousy sound system here, but these are minor details.
All right, well, I understand. I have a feeling that you'll get to the bottom of that very soon. But I do have the understanding that you would like to say something to the new Miss USA, Kristen. What did you want to say?
Well, I'm very honored that you won. She really did a fantastic job. As you know, the judge, a certain judge, gave her a pretty tough question also. She answered it brilliantly, and she became Miss USA, and we're very happy to have her as a Miss USA. She was doing well on every single card, and she really did answer also a very, very tough question very well.
Oh, thank you. Yay.
I think actually her question had to do with bailouts, something that you would know a lot about, Donald. But let me get to the heart of the matter here, because this is your first interview, your first time to respond to all the chaos that happened Sunday night at the Miss USA pageant. First of all, what do you say to the people who say that they can't trust the judging anymore of the Miss USA pageant because of the question from Perez Hilton?
Well, I think it has nothing to do with the judging. That was his question. That was his idea. He wanted to do it. He's a controversial guy. Certainly, it's made everybody a lot hotter. I didn't mind it from the standpoint of the pageant because all they're talking about is my Miss USA pageant, so I'm very happy about that, actually. But Kristen was great. And honestly, our Miss California she has done a wonderful job. That was her belief. You know, when Perez said it was a horrible answer, the worst answer in the history of pageants, it wasn't a bad answer. That was just simply her belief.
Yeah, but Donald, some people are questioning the legitimacy of how judges are scoring contestants if they're going to dock them points for their personal beliefs, which you would not say is a good idea, would you?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but, you know, in life there's luck, and that was a little bit of an unlucky question because no matter how she answered that question, she was going to get killed. If she went the other way, There's a huge group of people, perhaps including yourself, Gretchen, that would not have been very happy. And, you know, no matter how she answered that question, it was tough. So, in a sense, luck entered into it. She was unlucky in getting a lousy question.
Do you think that it affected the outcome of the pageant?
I don't think so. I think that the pageant was won by Kristen. As you know, they throw out the low number and the high number, and we have a lot of judges, and it could be that some of the judges loved her answer. You know, many people love the answer. I'm in my office getting tremendous, I mean, literally thousands and thousands of calls and emails and everything else, and I'd say probably 75% were in favor of the answer. That surprises me a little bit, but a huge number were in favor of the answer. So I don't think it had any impact. I think Kristen won. I think Kristen would have won anyway.
Well, it's made a tougher thing for Kristen, I will have to say that, to have to come out and defend this and have so much attention going to the first runner-up. And I guess it remains to be seen how the public will judge the organization. But let's go over to Steve and Brian, because I think they have some other questions for you, Donald, because you have a new book coming out, which is very exciting. Kristen, thanks so much. Good luck on your year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Good luck, Kristen. Congratulations.
Thank you. See you today.
All right, and congratulations to you, Donald, there in the studio with the bad sound system. Tell us about your book, Think Like a Champion, an informal education in business and life. What's that about?
Well, they've really wanted me, fellas, to come out with a book after The Art of the Deal and some of the others I did, talking about the bad times that we're in and how to survive the bad times that we're in. And, you know, it's a difficult period of time. It's a great time if you're an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. I'm buying a lot of things. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I wasn't buying a lot. This is the time to buy. And I mean, whether you have cash, I'm fortunate. I finished a lot of jobs over the last 2 or 3 years that really worked out well. It gives me something that's very special in terms of what I have. Lots of cash to go out and buy things. If you don't have cash, it's still a great time to buy. You go to the banks, you buy a house, you do different things with the banks. And I discuss that very strongly in the book. And the book has become a bestseller very quickly, like in 2 days, and we're really happy about it. It's selling like hotcakes, and I think it's primarily because you guys are promoting it.
If you're a billionaire like me and you, Donald Trump, it's easy to think like a champion. But what about those people that are no longer millionaires, no longer wealthy? They don't feel like champions. Can you think like a champion and being bathed in red ink?
Well, I discussed that very strongly in the book, and actually I really believe that everybody can think like a champion. You have to know your subject, learn your subject, love what you're doing, and go out there and just kick ass. And that's what I talk about, and I say how to do it, when to do it. And I'm not just talking about people like myself. I'm talking about people that don't necessarily have a lot of money and don't even have money. I'm talking about people that are being evicted from their houses. There's a way of going into a bigger and better house than the house you're being evicted from. Give up the house you're leaving. Go to the banks, make a deal. They'll give you financing. But always deal with the banks.
See, the key is you don't have to be a mogul. You can be just an ordinary person. And speaking of ordinary people, Donald, the Labor Department has just come out with their new unemployment figures. And this past month, 640,000 filed for new unemployment benefits. The economy is still in lousy shape.
Well, the biggest problem we have is the banks were stuffed with money. They were incompetently run, and now they're stuffed and their money's pouring out of the banks and they're not loaning it. So the banks have to loan the money that the taxpayers have given them. Because if you go for a loan, whether it's me or anybody, I don't care who it is, if you go to a bank for a loan, you're not getting it. So they're not giving money, and they have to give money. Otherwise, this economy is going to get worse and worse, and that's a horrendous job number.
Todd, you got to rejoin us. I have about 2,000 more questions to ask you, but you have to go. You're on this book tour, and it's a must-read. Think Like a Champion. And also, you have vodka, so they probably don't mix at the same time. Wait for the weekends. Thanks, Donald.
They really don't mix, actually, and I shouldn't say that because it hurts the vodka. So stay away from the vodka and go buy the book.
Yeah, or simply do not drink and read.
Yeah. Don't buy the Russian stuff. If you're going to buy the Trump stuff.
All right, Donald Trump joining us from New York. Thank you very much, sir. Meanwhile, at 22 minutes before